I have no words. Had to take my headphones off because that shit was so loud on my headphones. It's going to bust my eardrums out. All right. And welcome to Pardon Me, Alex, the only Lumberjack basketball podcast on the market. Your source, your number one with Alex and Jax. And
so
here,
excited to talk about this game.
Yeah. Not. Yeah, so we're just honestly going to just hit on the high points of the day, a few high points of the game, but we're not going to linger too long talking about this because it just won't do well to dwell on the past. It's happened. It's done. We need to move forward. And so, Jacqueline, thoughts?
Okay, well, let's just get on into our little intro. So, it was like probably one of the funnest basketball days we've had this season. Just like excluding
At
the
home?
game. We had, so as you'll know, we played La Tech,
Which,
Louisiana
by
Tech.
the way, Louisiana Tech, yeah, we got reprimanded
Yeah.
for calling them La Tech. Shout out to Jackson's mother.
Yeah, but so our friend Jackson, who normally sits with us at the games, y'all have seen him on an episode here, assistant golf coach at SFA. His mother and his sister both graduated from Louisiana Tech. So his parents drove down their motorhome, and we had a little, like tailgating fun for the game. His parents, his sister Jordan came in, her boyfriend, a couple of the golfers joined us. So we hung out and had a fun little time. Then we went into the game and found out that our friends Matt Postins and Chuck Cox were at the game. We didn't know they were going to be there. So that was fun. And they hung out with us a little bit after the game. But yeah, and then we got to meet two people whom I'm sorry that this is the game that y'all came to, because it's not what they normally look like. But Jalil's mom, we got to meet her, very sweet, beautiful lady. We got to meet Frank's girlfriend, Jules, adorable girl. Hate that they flew all that way and had to see a very abnormal game from the guys, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm glad you said it that way because there's not much we can do about it, unfortunately. Yeah. But it was a great time before the game. We enjoyed hanging out with Jackson and his some of his golf team members, or his golf students, his golf players, and his family as well. Yeah. But other than that, it was a rough one. It's very hard mentally and physically when you know that they can do better, and especially at home. And Dennis, when you shoot almost zero, you are going to lose.
Yeah.
That's the facts. But the craziest part about this is that at no point were we ever out of the game. So, like, Louisiana Tech was playing just as bad, but they just hit more shots than us when it counted and actually made the shots.
Yeah, a pretty easy equation. Whoever makes the most buckets wins. We just didn't.
That's how it works. I mean, oh God, it pains me to even look at these statistics.
Well, we're going to get into it here in just a second, and we'll just rip the Band-Aid off. So here's your background info on the game going into this. Our matchups between us and Louisiana Tech. We were at 5 wins, 7 losses. The last matchup we had with them, Alex and I was there. Very exciting game. We won in overtime by 1 point, 80-79 last season. The largest margin of victory we've had against them was 80-42 in 2006.
Damn.
Smallest margin of victory was that game last season. Alex, now we're at.
Great game. And it's just wild to me that we were able to stay with them, which that team, Louisiana Tech's teams last year was, I would say, like remarkably better than their current one. And we had less players and we were 10 times more beat up.
Yeah.
And
dinged up, as Michael Rappaport would say. Dinged up.
Absolutely dinged up. So just a weird dynamic. We knew that we beat them in in a crazy overtime win in their house. We knew they were going to come in all guns a-blazing anyway. So like before the game even started, Jacqueline and I, we already knew that it was going to be a tough game regardless of like anything else happening outside of, it was going to be a hard game anyway, because they wanted to come and do the same thing to us. So that we already knew, but I was really thinking it would be more of a challenge, not a challenge, but here we are. Okay. So moving on, WAC standings and resume seating. Couple of good news and bad news things here. Good news is in the actual standings itself, we haven't really dropped too badly. There's a lot of schools that are all 1-1 in WAC conference standings. But overall, there's only a couple of people who are 5-4, us included, and UT Arlington. So because of that game, we are now 7th in the WAC out of 8, 9, 10, 11 schools. So not great. And then, but also not dropping too badly. The other part, though, the one that actually truly matters is the resume seating. We dropped 2 spots in the resume seating. We were number 4 prior to this game. Now we are number 6. So we went from having a lot of points in this standing to 0.09, which is it's not the worst. Let's just say that. It's not the worst, but if you're aiming to be one of the 8 teams that goes to Vegas, you have to have positive points. Let's just say that. And at the moment, we are slowly falling to not positive points. So, yeah. To be fair, though, UT Arlington is the 8th school in this resume seating, and they don't have positive points. So I know what I just said doesn't make sense, but in reality, if you want to guarantee a trip to Vegas, you need to have positive points. You have to be on the positive end of the point spectrum, not on the negative. That's a guarantee. So we have to win. We have to win at home, especially when at home. So got to figure it out. That is the current WAC report.
Okay. So for this game, we had the same starters as we did the previous game: Trell, Jalil, Clayton, Chemo, and Cece. We did lose by 7 points, 56-49. The attendance was 2,328. And here we go, Sean Kennedy. My apologies, because not going to be your favorite stat section, but here we go. So our overall field goal percentage was 21.9%. We were 14 of 64. We took 24 more shots than they did. Just let that sink in for a second.
I just had to mute myself because I threw up in my mouth.
Well, wait, it gets worse. Our 3-point percentage, 5.6%. We made 1 out of 18. Our free throw percentage actually was about the same as the last game. I know I saw some people saying it was free throws, but it was not really the free throws. It's just the shooting from the field that couldn't go in because free throws we were 62.5. I mean, that's not great, but it's not egregious. It's at least more than a 1-in-1 chance. Our points in the paint, we had 22, which y'all know that's not where we want it. Our points off turnovers, 15. Our second chance points, 8. Fast break points, also 8. Jose Solas, I'm at Hooters, LOL. Did you drive there? Because Jose just got back his driver's license.
I just got it back.
Well, he let it expire and didn't renew it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. I'm like, what happened to his license? Because what the heck? But okay, that tracks. All right.
Which again, I don't really know why he doesn't ever drive. Even when he comes to Texas, you make other people drive you, don't you, Solo?
Because he's the passenger princess over here.
Anyway, enjoy the Hooters, Solo. Okay, let's see. Bitch points, we did have 27. Rebounds, we actually had a pretty decent amount of rebounds, almost as much as the last game, and with not the 5 extra minutes of overtime. We had 44 total rebounds, 19 offensive boards, 25 defensive boards. I think that's the closest division we've had between offensive and defensive boards on our rebounds.
I agree on that.
We had 27 fouls, which I mean is not great, but they had 24. So even the fouls weren't that unbalanced overall. Let's see. Turnovers, we only had 12.
That's one of the best all year.
It's probably the best this season, I'm pretty sure. They had 20 turnovers. We had 5 steals and 4 blocks. So here's our game leaders. And listen, I mean, I listed out 4, but 3 of them tied with 7 points. And
the turnovers, that is the second least all year. The least amount of turnovers we had was at the Loyola Marymount game.
Okay.
We had 11.
11, okay. So we had point-wise, we had AJ leading the way, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. We had Matt with 7 points, 11 rebounds, 1 steal. Jalil had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. And Trell had 7 points, 3 rebounds, and he made our only 3-pointer of the game.
I would just like to note, and it's obvious, not a single guy in double digits.
Never going to bode well.
No. Not when you have 2 guys on the other team, both with double digits, one almost scoring 20 points total. And to be fair, looking at their free throw percentage, we did shoot better free throw. I know it didn't feel like it at all. Huh?
Only 1%.
1%, but still better. So technically, it really was. I mean, if we would have made our free throws, let's just be honest. If we would have even hit 70% of our free throws, we probably would have won the game.
But here's the thing, we would have only had to make 2 field goals to win, whereas we would have had to make 8 free throws, No,
for sure. I'm just saying, giving examples, it wasn't just the free throws. Everybody was saying we lost because of the free throws. It wasn't that. Yeah, if we would have made more, sure, we would have won the game. Would have won the game by a shit ton. But that wasn't the only issue. There were other issues in the game. So just trying to...
Yeah. That was the bottom of the barrel. The field goals were way worse.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was just trying to, it wasn't just the field goals. Yes, if we made them more, we would have won, but there are other factors that would have also sealed the deal. So it wasn't just that.
Yeah. So who was your player of the game?
Player of the game. This one's obviously not easy just because of the fact that there wasn't necessarily a huge point person. So I would say, just for me personally, based off of looking at the stats, Matt stood out to me just because he had 11 rebounds. He was playing really well. He had a steal. He only had 1 turnover, which is really good, and 1 personal foul. So he really stayed out of foul trouble, which is obviously helpful to the team. And his field goal percentage wasn't ideal, but he had 3 out of 9, which again, considering this game, that was actually pretty good. So I would say Matt, he had 7 points. I appreciate his effort and his defensive effort always. So mine was Matt.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I definitely said Matt. I mean, everybody, the people who did score pretty much all scored around the same.
Yeah.
Those 11 rebounds and his defense, like, really made a huge impact.
Kept us in the game as far as we could be in the game, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I will say though that yeah, we had more rebounds than them. I mean, not by a lot, but we had 2 more rebounds than they did. The fouls were pretty almost even. The the assists were almost even. We had 3 total. They only had 6. So it wasn't like they were really like, just absolutely murdering us on passing and assisting, we had less turnovers. I mean, we had 2 less blocks than they did. And the steals were about the same. We had 5 and they had 4. So, I mean, looking at the stats like after the game, you realize, I mean, we were very evenly matched. It was just that field goal percentage just kicked us right in the teeth. And then obviously missing 17 free 3-pointers isn't great.
No.
It's great at all. No, not at all. And of course, the points in the paint for us, I mean, we had more points in the paint than they did, but still 22 points in the paint from us is not great. But everything else, I mean,
Yeah.
we beat them on bench points. They beat us on fast breaks, but that's really about it. I mean, I guess if you had to pick one positive out of the game, since we're moving on, we're pretty much at strengths, was the fact that we didn't really get dominated in this game. It wasn't like we got absolutely embarrassed in that respect. It was an evenly matched game. We just couldn't shoot for shit.
Yeah. So I'll try to make a few actual feats of strength because I'm gonna say we actually started off the game great. Like the
Yeah, we
first
did.
couple of minutes, I was like, we're finally like starting. We need a Como. That would be helpful. But we got a great group of guys. We just have a few things that we need to iron out. Now we'll get to that in a moment.
Yep.
But no, the first few possessions were great. We had a great
I
start.
agree.
We had a great score at the post, very first possession. Then we forced a turnover. Then Jalil scored at the post. Then we had another defensive stop. I mean, the first 4 consecutive possessions were amazing.
I agree. It started off so well, and I was like, here we go. Like, come into our house and try and do that to us. What we did to you, sucka. Yeah. Didn't. Yeah. Continue. Hello? Oh no, did you freeze? Well, I think Jacqueline froze. So we'll wait a second. Da da da. Oh God. Okay, she lost signal. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna take her out for a second until she can get it back. Yeah, she'll be back in a second. All right. Other things I think that were oh, there she goes. There she goes. Found her. You were doing so good.
I mean, y'all, I had Optimum come out this morning. This poor man spent almost 2 hours working on my internet. And for the first time ever, I sat down and watched one complete show without it buffering one time. And then the second we start this, it freezes up.
I just wild. All right, well then let's get through it. So continue.
Where I was. Nana had a couple steals because if y'all are hearing this again, sorry, I don't know where I lost you. Like we both said, Matt played a great game. He was fighting for the rebound and getting putbacks at the board, had a steal and a breakaway dunk, all those rebounds. I mean, he was playing great. Clayton had some really great buckets in the paint. We played some really good D. We had a couple of 5-second calls. Frank played some really great D the whole game. Jalil was fighting at the post. He got a massive block that was amazing.
I agree. I mean, we were fighting tooth and nail. It was, just the balls weren't falling, but that wasn't for lack of effort or lack of trying, obviously, because we kept trying.
Yeah.
Kept trying
64 times.
Kept trying to hit a ball, have a layup, get a 3. We didn't just stop playing.
Yeah.
They just weren't going in the net.
And listen, AJ had another clutch moment at the end of this game. He had a reverse layup at the end to put us within 3 points, and it was like we were almost there. Just couldn't quite get over the hump. But that's all of the feats of strength that I have.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is, strength for me is just the fact that we didn't give up. We kept trying. We kept fighting. I appreciate the boys sticking with it. I appreciate them not giving up, still to the very bitter end, trying to score points, trying to draw a foul, trying for something to happen. And that kind of effort and that kind of passion, you can't teach that. So I do appreciate that. And I know that they know that we are not mad at them or upset at them. I hope they don't think that the fans and the people are disappointed or upset. Obviously they're frustrated because of the outcomes of the home games so far, apart from the one. But I mean, we have basically almost a whole new team that we're trying to figure it out. And, we have our own thoughts about that we'll bring up here in a second.
Yeah. You know what? And I completely agree with everything you just said. And once we switch into this next segment, I will give my feedback on that, which I'm trying to turn these negatives into positives. So just bear with us.
Agreed. Okay. Yes.
Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. You.
Okay. So yeah, I could not agree more with what you said, and I'll give 2 reasons that at this point I'm not worried by that loss. Going off of what you said, the first one is what we said when we went over the stats. Literally, really, they didn't. The only stat line that absolutely killed us was the field goal percentage, and we've seen this exact team, this group of guys play amazing games, take amazing shots, make amazing shots, and the scoring has been spread all over. It's not even like a team where we only have one person who can be the lead scorer. So we had one really bad shooting night, one really bad one. And we still hung in and almost came back and won at the end with 21.9% shooting to still almost win a game when you've taken 24 more shots than the other team. I mean, that shows that we're a good team. We're not bad. We just had a really bad shooting night.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah, they still had a very good attitude the whole time. They never once gave up. Everyone was still trying their best, not letting the frustration get in the way. They were motivating each other and still trying to do stuff. So I'm not worried.
I will ditto your sentiment. I'm not worried either. The only concern I have is what we're about to talk about in a second is that part right there, which we'll explain in a moment. That's really it. Like, we're all there. All these teams, any good team is going to have a bad shooting night. So far, this is our first one. Like, all the other games that we've lost, we haven't had it wasn't a horrible shooting night. It was just close, evenly matched teams dogging it out to the very end. And one team just either took the game over and scored a couple more field goals, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah. The part that, and I'm not going to say worried, but the concern that I have, the problem that I see, and listen, y'all, this is my opinion coming from someone who's watched a lot of basketball and played a lot of basketball. I feel that since we now have such a deep team, there is such a desire to rather erratically substitute players so constantly and frequently and haphazardly that, for one, I don't think it gives the players enough time on the floor to get into a comfortable rhythm. And because listen, I have been in this position where you are so worried that the second you miss a shot or the second you turn the ball over, you're going to get yanked out and not go back in, that it like stifles the organic, like, basketball play that you could do of making your own plays and your own shots, because you're so worried about getting pulled out immediately. And I think that hinders our guys, and I feel bad for that. So I hope we figure it out. And we're so excited that we have enough guys to sub in and out, and we have a lot of great players, a lot of depth. And I wholeheartedly also want to see all of them get a lot of playing time. But at this point, if anyone was asking me, which they're not, but that's what we're here to do, is tell what we think, I would literally make 2 groups of 5, rotate them out every 5 minutes unless something arose, like really bad foul trouble or something extenuating, and then sub as needed, because then at least when someone goes in the game, they know for sure what position they're playing so that we can run a play. Because I feel like right now the substitutions are happening so frequently that I think sometimes there's mass confusion from everyone on where who's supposed to be who's running what and what's happening, because it's just so quick.
Yeah, I think that's at the moment our biggest kryptonite, and we are our own worst enemy. And that's just from watching every single game to this point. It's been so long since we've had this smorgasbord, if you want to go with that, of amazing players. We're just not used to having 10, 11 plus guys that are all available, all good, all totally confident, and totally just able to get into the game and play seamlessly. Like, we just haven't had that in so long. We've had a core group of like 5 dudes, maybe 6 or 7, to like come in and out and sub in and out. And that's really been it, which in the past, that was okay. Last season was obviously like an outlier because we had so many injuries and so many things, but we still played like a cohesive unit because we only had 7 guys. So we had to. Now, Keller and the coaches have just an absolute, they're gluttonous. They have so many dudes to choose from.
So many
and I understand, like, he wants to get everybody playing time, but I think that is, like you said, at the moment to our detriment. There is no rhythm that is going to occur when you put 5 guys in at starting, and then within 30 seconds or quicker, sooner, yank 1 or 2 out. Like, how can you build a cohesive unit if you're constantly moving guys in and out of this rotation? Constant, you know? And it's like, well, who am I guarding? What's the play? What's going on? Do we have a play? Like, it's a constant communication battle.
Yep. And the thing is, we have so many new guys this year that you have to think, like, first of all, they have to be comfortable enough with the plays at their position. And then if you throw in, you might have 2 players on the floor at the same time who normally run the 3, and then one of them has to run the 4 in a play. They might not even be fully comfortable at their own position yet. And now it throws the whole thing off because they're having to try to figure out something else. And some of these guys are really new, having played together. So they're still getting used to each other's tendencies and strengths and weaknesses. And it takes some time playing with the same 4 players to get used to, like, hey, anytime X happens, this is what Alex is going to do. Like, she's going to break right, or she's going to break left, or, whatever. And you can get used to it when you play with someone, but when it's constantly spinning, kind of difficult. So anyhow, Tess and Dennis both agree.
Yeah. And I know that there's other people that have expressed the same concern, like the exact same thing. We didn't bring it up to them. They brought it to us, and we're saying the same exact thing. So I know that there's a lot of people with this similar sentiment, who are dedicated Lumberjack fans who have been watching for a long time and are very, well versed in this team and in this style. And again, like, I get it. We're supposed to play defense at a very high octane, high intensity level. So that may also, attribute to having to pull guys out more often because they get winded, but still, like.
And if that's the case, make a rotation and figure out what the time limit is.
Thank you. And then also, like, that's what you train and that's what you condition for. Because if that's how high octane you're going to press you, then that's what obviously the strength and conditioning guy is there for, which I know he did that over all of summer, making sure that they were conditioned enough to be able to play for more than 20 seconds. And it's just one of those things where someone goes in, they foul, they immediately come out. And I'm like, it's only 1 foul. Leave them in. Like, total 1 foul. Well, I mean, again, it's just like Jacqueline said, nobody asked us our opinion. And obviously we're not coaches. There's probably 1,000 other things that they're considering and thinking of that we haven't even thought of. But just from a player's perspective, Jacqueline's, and then from me, who's been watching professional sports and sports my entire life, like, these are just things that we've noticed that obviously other people have noticed too. So we're not just pulling this out of our butthole. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not unfounded. And so it's just interesting. It's just stressful. And yeah. Any other major grievances?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, obviously the biggest one is the loss, but I already went into the game knowing that it might happen just because it's Louisiana Tech. Like, it's a 50-50 shot. You're going to win or you're going to lose. Like, who has the hot hand that night? So that it's not so much the loss that irritates me. Yes, that's irritating because we easily could have won that game. Easily, very easily. It's more so what we just talked about. The main grievance there was just the absolute erratic, and there's no way to find rhythm that way. None. Okay. So moving on. We move on. We've talked about it. We've ranted about it. We've let it go. We're moving on. Looking into the horizon, because there's plenty of more games to come. Plenty of more competition, plenty of other schools that we have to figure out a way to beat. The boys are already on the road. They're most likely already in Wyoming. I wish I was with them
Me too.
because I have always wanted to go to Wyoming. I'm so mad, but it's okay. Jacqueline, what is your entire summary of this game?
My word that I said Tuesday, befuddled.
Befuddled. That's the word. That's the word. I would just again go with what we've talked about the past couple of minutes here is just the rhythm, lack of rhythm in this case. But yeah, there's just no rhythm right now because there's just no cohesiveness. Not saying the team isn't cohesive.
No,
They get along like pants on fire. That's not the problem. That is not the problem. You know, in years past, we've had issues in the locker room, this, that, whatever. That's not the problem right now. The problem is cohesiveness on the court. So just got to get that figured out. And that's what these non-conference games are supposed to be like. But it just sucks now that no matter who you play, when you play, where you're playing it, that damn resume seating is going to bite you in the ass every time. Normally, in the past, we have a bad game versus a non-conference opponent. It's really not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of the WAC standings. Anyway, 2 lessons. First off, make your shots. That's key to the game. Key to the game and the win. Make your shots. Make high percentage shots. Like
points in the paint.
Points in the paint, right? Good God. Second key to the game. Try to find some different substitution schedule. Like a rhyme or reason. Not just, hey, you. Go in. 3 seconds later, just kidding. You replace. Like, gotta figure something else out here. Gotta try something new. I'm not saying they have to redo the wheel here and reinvent the wheel, but something isn't working somewhere down the pike here. So figure out what that is, make the adjustment, and then hopefully figure it out before conference actually truly kicks off more. Because if we don't, we won't. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Okay, so started kind of alluding to it a couple minutes ago, but man, I wish it could have gone to this Wyoming game. I really, really do. I've always wanted to go to Wyoming. I want to be like Yellowstone, like on the show Yellowstone. I want to be like, Kevin Costner and Cole Hauser out on the range. Where are my Yellowstone fans at? Where my fans at? Where they at? I know my mom's listening, and no, she's probably not actually. She's a big Yellowstone fan. Anyway, so what time's the game tomorrow?
3 p.m.
Damn. It's an early game.
Yeah.
Rats. All right, well, I guess I'll be at the brewery watching it then. Yippee.
Yeah, it's an early afternoon one. I had to check myself to make sure, but
yeah.
Catch it on ESPN. If you don't watch it live, everybody, you can watch it back afterwards if you're busy then.
And if you don't have any access to ESPN because you either don't want to pay for it or you don't like the commentators, guess what? Listen to Rob.
Or you can do as I do and listen to Rob and watch the game at the same time. But it does take a little bit of effort to sync them up.
It does. Okay. But definitely worth it. I agree. Okay. So couple things, reminder, obviously, make sure you're following us on social media, on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, subscribing, and commenting and sharing. Next reminder is to shop in our store. I mean, if you're looking for a great Christmas present, go onto our shore, Jesus. Go onto our store. You can find it on our website. You can find it on any of our social media links. Go right to our store, shop it. There's plenty of holiday gifts on there. There's plenty of fun and cool things you can order for that lumberjack in your life. And even it doesn't have to be about basketball. Like if you just want a cool, like lumberjack themed shirt, we have that. If you want a shirt that's neck themed, we have that. If you just want a new hat, if you want to get somebody a sweatshirt, I literally just did all of my Christmas shopping on our store.
I saw that.
Yeah, I spent like $150 on my own store. I wish we got credit for that, but we don't, because it's okay. It's fine. But anyway, I just spent $150 on my own store. So if you're looking for Christmas stuff and you're like, I need something new, need something fresh, we have all a bunch of stuff on there. I'm actually have a couple designs, one that Jacqueline did and that I'm about to put on there. So we'll have a new one. I wanted to get some more purple on there. So gonna add another design on there. But yeah, so shop our store. And then the last reminder is if you're looking for another interesting Christmas gift for that lumberjack in your life, highly recommend going to My Plates and ordering a personalized license plate. When you buy a 5-year personalized purple SFA plate from My Plates, SFA Athletics takes in almost $250 from that purchase. It's an easy, fun way to support your favorite teams. When you renew that 5-year plate, SFA gets nearly $400. That's $400 for a plate, a license plate. So could you imagine if everybody who's a lumberjack fan got a 5-year personalized SFA plate and then they renewed it? Man, we'd be rolling in the bucks like Daddy Warbucks or Donald. What is it? Scrooge, not Scrooge McDuck. Is it Scrooge McDuck?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. So get it done. Order those plates. We love our plates. Obviously, we can't hide from anybody in town because everybody knows what our car looks like. I'm not even kidding. Even now at work at Angelina, I'll have people come up to me and be like, is that your car in the parking lot? Like, they know exactly now what car I am. Yeah, I can't hide.
Yeah, no more for us.
No, it's okay though. It's all right. I'd rather support my plates and show off our plates rather than be hidden because we're proud of our plates. Anyway, so go get you a license plate. Go to www.myplates.com/lumberjacks and order your plates today. All right, so that's it for the reminders. That's it for all the ads. That's it for all the things. Done. I'm gloomy. It's gloomy outside. I'm done talking about this game. I want to put it out of our brain and move on to the game tomorrow versus Wyoming. Now, I know nothing about Wyoming. I know nothing other than the state. I know nothing about their team. I know nothing about how, if they're good, not good, what their story is. So this will be interesting.
Same. We shall see.
Nervous, but excited. We seem to be playing better away than at home. So we shall see.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Let's all cross our fingers, cross our axes, cross everything. Wear purple tomorrow and support the Lumberjacks from afar. And happy Big Dip Day to all the Big Dippers out there. All the Lumberjacks who are getting their class rings today. Good for you. Congrats. I actually have to work the brewery Big Dip after party tonight, so I'll be there.
Busy night.
Busy night. That's why we're having to record this right now in this afternoon rather than tonight, because I will be at work starting at 3:00. So need to go and get my life together. Yep. Time is a ticking. So hope you all have, again, a wonderful weekend. And always remember, Axe 'em Jacks.
With Alex and Jax.